And we're going live. Here we go. Good evening, podcast world, and all those out there in the internet looking at us. Today, we got another one of our shows, Things My Mother Never Told Me. We got another one of our very special guests on here today, and we're going to learn something tonight.
We always do.
Can you say hi to the folks?
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this evening.
Right. So, like I told you, De'Lon, she's going to read your bio, and then we're going to ask you some questions. And as always, as we always do, we're going to let you tell your story the way you
Absolutely.
tell it.
All right, then, everybody, let's welcome De'Lon Dixon. He's the founder of Think Technologies, an artificial intelligence, consulting firm focused on data analysis, generative AI, and developing AI chatbots and assistants. In addition to his work at Think Technologies, De'Lon plays a pivotal role at Glassbox, where he leads the CXM team, primarily focused on enhancing AI features and ensuring customers derive maximum value from the software. His work plans innovative generative art projects to creating AI-driven solutions that improve customer experiences and business processes. For my for more about his roles and projects, visit Think Technologies and Glassbox websites. All right, let's welcome him.
All right. So once again, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be on here.
Oh, yes. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Right, right. 'Cause I know you're very busy.
Yep,
We'll start off with this first. You got on the bio, but you went to Lands Cruise High School.
Lance Cruz High School.
Yeah.
Graduated 2012.
All right, and
Yeah.
then you went to Western Michigan University.
Yep. Good old KZoo. I was in Western Michigan for 7 years. I
All
actually
right,
went there for undergrad and graduate school, so I
cool.
had some good times at
All
Cal.
right.
And so this is going to really get the people for because I went to Western as well. And those of you know our tech person Brandis, she graduated from Western. But more recently, I went back to school and I matriculated at Cornerstone University, which is where you are doing some work
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So I'm actually on the board of their strategic artificial intelligence program. It's an online program that they have there, and I recently joined the board. I would say about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
it's full circle. I couldn't believe it that Damon, you told me that. I didn't know you were attending there.
Right.
So the fact that I just found that out, I was like, no way, it's amazing. Such a small world.
Very small world. Very small world. So let's do how we want to do this because I looked at your LinkedIn page. You have an extensive amount of experience, education on there. So let's talk about
Oh, my
you
light just went out. Sorry. But
oh, okay, you all right though. You
yeah,
still look good. So you
yeah,
good.
all right,
Yeah.
cool.
So you in this thing that we call our artificial intelligence area. And what made you go on that journey to get in that field?
So there is quite a few things. I would say the biggest catalyst to me like wanting to dive deeper into artificial intelligence was definitely the launch of like ChatGPT.
Okay.
So that came out, I want to say maybe well, it's been out since 2019, but it was like really big in the public around like 2 years ago or so.
Okay.
And just I was testing it out, playing with it a few different ways. And I was like, this is like gonna be groundbreaking.
Hmm.
Like, the first thing I used it for was just, like, a simple, like, Excel formula, but, like, usually, like, if there's something in Excel you can't think of, then you gotta Google it, then
Right.
figure out which one's the right one, try it out a bunch of ways. But I just asked it based on, like, this, I was like, "XYZ, I need a formula that does this," and it gave it to me right there, plugged it right in, and it worked, and I was like, "This is gonna be, like, groundbreaking, like, this is, like, the biggest thing since, like, Google." So, after that, I really was just researching it, playing around with ChatGPT more, and then I got introduced to this online program through UC Davis, and it was based on artificial intelligence and big data. And so I signed up for that, completed that certification, and just I wanted to keep learning more and more and more about it,
Mm.
and testing out different ways. And then so I also mentioned it to like work, like brought it up to my team at work. I was like, we got to be using this right away. And then like full circle, like a year later, we implemented a feature that leveraged AI, and I was a big part of that at Glassbox.
Okay.
And so that's like how I learned a lot about how we could really use it in different tools, like enhanced products and enhanced services that companies are providing. And so that was just like almost like my playground to understand like how to use it, how to implement it, what are some things to really keep in mind about it. And then I was like, I could be doing this for my own business as well. And so that's when I shifted and pivoted my business because it really was focused on just like general like digital consulting as far as like setting up databases, data management, data visualization. But I was like, I definitely need to include the AI component in here as well. And so that was just like one of the big pushes is ChatGPT and then the launch of new AI products like Glassbox that really gave me like the motivation to really learn more about it and apply it to my business.
Cool. So at the, for those who don't know or aren't sure, at its very base, what is artificial intelligence?
At its very base,
Yeah.
that's a I guess at its very base, you could say that it is human, almost like computers created to mimic human behavior and human
Yes.
intelligence.
Yeah.
At its very base. That's what I would say.
Okay. And so well, you go ahead, you go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say like it it's really cool because it's like beneficial to society in like so many different ways. Like it's just like it's like we're I feel like it's like such a big gap in like historic technology
Mhm.
because like it's at a place to where it can impact every industry.
Right.
It's almost like similar to like how like when the computer first came out, it was like, oh, this is cool. Some businesses adopted it, some didn't. But like fast forward like 20 years now, everybody's using it. I feel like AI is like just like that, except it's going to be even more impactful because it can actually do the stuff for us. It not only does it like make us allow us to do things faster
Mhm.
or more efficiently, but it can just do it for you. And I feel like having that added step in is just going to change like society as a whole.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
I mean, because it has the capacity to teach itself to some extent.
Not like it can understand relations.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
So like how it works, it's almost it has like a series of like nodes and probes, almost simulating or emulating how like an animal brain works. So like say you have a specific model and like part of it will understand like how to do math.
Mhm.
And one node will know how to do geometry, one node will know how to do algebra, and then one node may not know how to do any of those. But what happens is it can like pass that information to different nodes.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the current state of artificial intelligence, like it can't learn on its own. It can only learn what we provided.
Input.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't know how much longer that's gonna be the case.
Right.
But at the current state, like AI can only learn like what we set the rules or
Mhm.
algorithm to like know what it can work on or how to produce like outputs. So
Right.
it's basically like the training. So like it's as far like most models is like based on what the data has been trained on by a human. So like a human's providing data, and you're saying, oh, we need to train it on to do X, Y, Z, then it'll do X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And it might find more efficient ways to do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna be thinking about A, B, and C. Yes, yes.
Right.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think I jump way ahead to that because I think that a lot of people right now that's what they are afraid of is
Yeah.
that it's already at thinking about something other than what you gave it to think about.
Yeah, so like to reach that point, it's a common term called like singularity,
Mhm.
where like the artificial intelligence becomes so smart that it doesn't need to be trained on any data. It can teach itself whatever it wants to know, and like it's almost like all knowing based on like all the information that's out there.
Right.
I can't say how far we are away from that, but people get afraid of that, but it could go like two different ways. Like who's like it's not for sure to say that it would be a threat to us.
Right.
Potentially, like it could even be more helpful than we ever could have imagined. Like it is a way it could play out that way. We just
Right.
won't know until we get to that point. But that is probably a little ways away, and like that's where it's really important for people who work in AI to really just understand like AI ethics and then understanding safeguards like policy rules, like making sure you're being smart about how you're using it.
Yeah.
And it also is important too for us to keep the human component within it so it doesn't get out of control and like having like real people monitor like what's actually going on and being smart about how they use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You had something.
Well, I just was wondering with this artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
I went over to my cousins the other day. They wanted to go play bingo. They said now that they have the computer, They'll buy their cars, but they have a computer to go wrong with it, and it dabs for them when they call the numbers. It even lets them know when to play bingo, when to say bingo. I said,
Oh wow.
what? We just had dappers, and we just used to just dap and wait on the number to be called. But now it's attached to, they got their own. I guess they pay for it when they purchase their cars, but this is the little. They got this little setup where it sit there in front of you and let you know, hey, you just missed that number. But and it'll dab it for you. And then it'll tell you, say, what they say, bingo. And I mean, I'm even scared of the cars right now. The self-driving cars
Yeah,
program and the people that play chess.
yeah. That's fair. So you brought up two good points right there. One thing I'll touch on is the gamification with AI. So until like 2019, like when ChatGPT launched their like first version, it's called GPT-2. Now we're on GPT-4.
Okay.
But prior to that, a lot of ways we would test how smart artificial intelligence or machine learning was doing gamifications. Like for example, they had, I forget what it was called. It was Watson, IBM
Watson,
when
yes.
when was that? I think it was like 2011 or so. But IBM Watson had beat somebody in Jeopardy on live TV. That was like a big thing.
Right.
And then we also had it was like some chess games that happened too previously. I can't remember which specific developer did it. It was probably like Google, IBM, one of the heavy hitters. But it's all cool because a lot of this stemmed from like the best way to test how good AI was or the model was is doing a game or playing a game and seeing who can win. Can the human win or will the robot win?
Right.
And then also this all like really based from originally it was like 1950 with Alan Turing. I don't know if you guys have heard the name. They had the Turing test to tell
Yeah,
like,
the
oh,
Turing test. Yeah, I read that yesterday.
like are you interacting with a human or a computer and like can you decipher or can you not tell the difference? And so like that was like a lot like where a lot of the research started in this field. Like just like how the human computer interaction and as far as gamification and competition stuff. So it's great that you brought that up.
Yeah. So with you, I know you did tell us about some of the projects that you recently worked on. We were talking about a little before we started, but without me trying to remember which one. But some of the projects that you worked, because I know there was one that I don't know if it was live streamed or you were saying
yeah, so we recently had an event. I do a lot of work with Black Tech Saturdays. They're based out of New Lab in Detroit. They're an organization that brings pretty much like everyone in the tech industry together to just collaborate, find jobs, get guidance, find clients. It's a great space. It's almost like Detroit's version of Silicon Valley. And I also want to emphasize too, it's welcome to everybody. I know it's called Black Tech Saturdays, but like anybody is welcome. anybody who wants to collaborate and and just grow the tech industry in Detroit is welcome to join.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a lot of different events throughout the city just to help people better understand technology and get acclimated to it and see how they could be leveraging it or see if they're interested in like learning about it or having a career in it. So we had an event at it was a church. I can't remember what the church was called, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'll give this to you after the we can give them their shout out because they were great church. Minister was great. Everybody's super nice. And they had some good food there too. But
that always helps.
Yeah, right. But that was a really good event. We probably had like 100 people come out on a weeknight just to learn about artificial intelligence and social media. So I talked about artificial intelligence, and then Ethan Lloyd talked about social media. He's a big big person or big how do I want to say entity. He's really impactful in Detroit as far as teaching like people how to grow social media accounts. And just being understanding how everything works. So that's like a big thing is like a lot of people in the community don't understand how all this technology works or how they should be leveraging it. And so it's important that we all know that so we have a level playing field and we're advancing as a society as a whole instead of just like the people who are working in the industry only know about this. We're like we can just have everybody knowing about this because it could benefit so many people.
Right. So you know, as I look at your, and I'm about to pull this thing up right now. Look at your resume, as it were. You've done a lot of work with a lot of different places, and people. And I want to see if I see one. Ba, 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 ba. Well, you did some work with up in Kalamazoo, actually,
Yeah,
outside
I
of
did a
going to
lot of
school
work.
there.
Yeah, so I did a lot. I did a lot of different things at in Kalamazoo as far as work wise.
Mhm,
So basically, what I went to school for was industrial organizational psychology, and we focused on like behavioral engineering, so how to improve processes, how
mhm,
humans interact with different like elements, and how we can like improve that or make people more efficient.
yeah.
And so, what doing that, our program kind of like taught us the most efficient way to learn things.
Mhm,
So being able to have that ability to learn anything really fast in an efficient manner really allows you to work in a lot of different industries. So like people who graduate from my program, like some people work at like Pfizer, some people are at Stryker, some people are at like Kellogg's or different businesses like that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can work in any industry because we learn the principles of how to learn stuff super fast and super efficiently. And so you can like master different areas or industries in an effective and fast manner.
mhm,
And so I got to work on a lot of different projects at Kalamazoo. I did some stuff for the city of Kalamazoo, did some stuff for Kellogg. We did a lot of research too with MDOT, so Michigan Department of
yeah.
Transportation. Did a lot of like feedback studies, research studies that manner. So it was really cool because I learned like the principles of research there, learning just really how to like analyze data, how to make inferences of data, and how to tell a story about the data too. I feel like those are the
Okay.
critical things that I really learned. And that like transfers over into anything.
Right.
Like anything you do, you requires you to be able to make to talk about data, understand data, and analyze data, and then also tell or present your findings. That's every single job.
Yep.
So I feel like they just really the program put us all in a really good spot to really excel in any industry, honestly.
Oh, go ahead.
You don't went way beyond me because I'm still up here. I just really started using Siri last year. Because my girlfriends, when I went to see them in Atlanta, they on the phone with Siri all the time. They Siri this, Siri this, Siri that. I was like, I don't. I always type my stuff in before I even get started. But they was like, Siri, go to this. Siri, what's the place? I said, how y'all deal it? But Siri, they always got Siri just like this. And I really just started to use it because I don't know, I was just sometimes she was getting it wrong, even though she didn't improve now.
Yeah, right.
Because you be trying to tell her something, then she be trying to tell me something. Wait a minute, no, Siri.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, but
yeah,
they use Siri for everything. And
for
I
sure.
just,
And
but I was
that's
just
one
saying,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, since you do this chat box stuff, because I'm online with my especially for my health insurance.
Hmm.
And they're going in and I'm trying to find a dentist and they'll give me the number and then some of it, a lot of it is scripted. But I just definitely find it helpful to me when I go in for my insurance stuff, my health
Yeah.
insurance coverage. I
So
like.
there's two things right there that you mentioned that I think are really important to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is like the use of AI. Like
Mhm.
I know this is going to be like counterintuitive to my business, but like you don't need to force it. You don't have to use AI like for everything. You just use
Right.
it when it will make something more efficient. But like say for example, if you want to type out a text message, like you could say like, "Oh Siri, type this text message," or you could type it out. It's like
Mm-hmm.
is it really saving you that much more time by saying it instead of just typing it out yourself? That's just like a mild example, but like we definitely should only be using AI when we think it'll be beneficial to us
Right.
Right.
and not just to use it to say we're using it. That's one
Right.
thing that's
Mm-hmm.
important is just to make sure you're only using it when it's going to be beneficial to you. So that was
Right.
one good point.
Right.
And the second thing I want to talk about too is Siri and like Alexa and things of that nature. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I personally, we're getting a little off topic here, but I don't use those voice assistants that often, and I
Mhm.
had them disabled on some of my devices just because they're always listening.
Yes.
Yes.
So like and I actually had a discussion before with a software engineer about this, and we got in a debate, but he was saying like, no, they only listen for keywords like okay or hey or things like that. But it's just like, how many times do you say words that sound like okay or hey or end in that same like pitch
Right.
or echo that would be triggering you to listen? It happens
Right.
all the time. And that's why, like, when you're saying something, like, say you're talking about pizza or pop or Coca-Cola or something like that, and then you go on Facebook, you're like, oh, I was just talking about that.
Yep.
Like, it's like, because it's listening. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
something to keep in mind and be conscious of when you're
Right.
using features like
Right. If
that.
you do, and you don't have to be on Facebook, any type of search.
Yeah.
Because if you say somebody's name and you type the first 2 letters of their first name, generally that name pops up first. That person you talk that you would because it's listening.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I don't know about listening for keywords because
Right.
I think all words are key to something, right?
Yeah.
No, but
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
always been thinking about even when I'm doing my fashion.
Uh-huh.
And then they was like, do you want more of these ads or less of these ads? So like I said, if I'm clicking yes, then I was like, oh, here it is. It reminds me to get that item that I wanted.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
I
it
do
has its
like that
pros and
feature.
cons.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah,
its
because
pros and
that's a
cons.
good thing. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that.
At least you're not getting more junk. You get
Yeah.
what you want to see.
It was junk that
Yeah.
I
At
wanted.
least you're getting junk that you really like.
That you really like. That's right. Very much so.
Personalized junk for you.
Right. So when you were in Kalamazoo, let's talk about that one. How
Yeah.
big was your team?
When I was in Kalamazoo.
You're working, not school, but the work. Would you work with the city?
I was just an intern then. I was
Oh, you
interning.
just interning? Okay.
Yeah, but I had a research project and a research team for the university,
Mhm,
and I had probably like at max it was like 4 or 5 research assistants. It really
mhm,
depended on the project. So like different semesters we would have different projects, so depending on the funding and how many research assistants we could have per project. But
mhm,
yeah, I was managing usually like groups of 4 to 5 for different research studies. So I would teach them like how to like different areas that we need help with. So whether it was like data entry, data analysis, or actually like capturing data points too. So we did
mhm.
a lot of human factors research.
Right, right.
So,
Cool. And was that Dynatrace?
yeah, Dynatrace. I really enjoyed working at Dynatrace. We can touch on this one a little bit because Dynatrace was kind of like I don't want to say this. Dynatrace was my first like big job where I was like, oh mama, I made it. Like so Dynatrace is really cool because I learned a lot about how the internet works
Mhm,
behind the scenes. So like API calls, like network connectivity time, servers, probes, like, and I feel like that really helped me develop like a baseline or a cornerstone per
yeah.
se of where I can build my
That's right. That's right.
where I could just build my knowledge off of on the internet and technology in general.
Mhm,
And it was also the first software company I ever worked at. So they had a really good training program to get me up to speed and learn more about the ins and out and the basis of technology because I did not have a computer science degree in
mhm.
college.
Right.
But going through like obviously I self-taught myself a lot and shout out to YouTube University. But But
Yeah.
I learned a lot too at Dynatrace. Like their program was like one of the best training programs ever. They would like take people like from McDonald's to learning how to work on the back end of a server. So it's just like their training is next level and it was a great organization. Great
Right.
organization. Yeah.
So since you mentioned that, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because I know, years ago, I had interviewed with Kodak.
Okay.
And that's when they were big, big. And the guy said, I was fresh out of high school, and they said they just wanted people with degrees. They didn't care what the degree was in.
Yeah.
As long as you had a degree, he said, because he said what it shows them is that you have a willingness and an ability to learn.
Yep.
And said if they know that, they can teach you anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So getting back there, so you went into industrial and organizational psychology. That's where you got
Yep.
your master's.
Yep.
What was that all about?
So I touched on that a little bit, but we focus a lot on like behavioral engineering, understanding how to like teach people how to do things efficiently, how to learn at a fast rate,
Right.
just optimizing experiences. It was really cool because they gave us so many different opportunities and applied experiences, like a lot of different internships, like a lot of good mentorship, and it was a smaller program, so we got to be really close with the
Oh, okay.
professors, like
Right.
shout out to Dr. Ron Van Houten. That was my advisor. He's my man. He taught me so many important things about data that they're just like it really changed my life and how I thought about a lot of things. So he was one of
Mhm.
the best mentors I ever had, for sure. And
Right.
still is. Whenever I go to Kalamazoo, I visit him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you got your bachelor's in psychology.
Yep. Yep.
And I see you got a double bachelor.
Yeah, so I double majored in behavioral science and criminal justice
Right.
Yeah.
undergrad. So I originally wanted to be in the FBI, and
Ah.
and then I was like, I don't want my life to be a secret, and I want to make money right away. So then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pursue the industrial organizational psychology, which is like primarily just like a business focused psychology.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's what I was getting to. But I mean, I'm looking at you because I heard tell the people to do this. You had a double major and a minor.
Yep, in sociology.
So excuse me. So you were in the business of studying people, or
Yes,
in the
yes,
learning business of studying people.
yep.
And so I guess going to step into AI is, I guess, the next step in that whole thing, because since that's the people of the future, so to speak.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny because like people say this all the time. They're like, "Oh, how are you getting in technology?" Well, I mean, it's like I studied behavioral science and like humans, and like primarily the my main focus of work my entire career has been how people are behaving on technology,
Mhm.
using
Right.
technology. So it kind of does a full circle. So it's like I always tell people like, "Oh, do you use your degree?" I'm like, "Yes and no." Like, like some things I use, some things I don't ever
Right.
use, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. Well,
It's
psychology is a nice thing to know.
And
yeah,
sociology
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
All that comes in focus. Because I'm telling you, us humans are something else. Uh, that's why I was reading about what is that, the handsome robotics?
I have not heard
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, it's like the humanoid robot designed to mimic the human experience and their behavior. You know how the movies have, and they have these they have created all these robots then, but one robot wants to be a human. He want to have
Oh,
human
yeah, yeah,
emotions
okay.
and
Yeah, right. That's funny you said that. It's something me and my friends joke about. We were joking around about it. It was my 30th birthday was actually a couple weeks ago. We were
Okay.
talking about
Well, happy birthday.
happy
thank you.
I do remember that.
Yeah. But we were joking like there's gonna be a ton of movements I'm sure soon about robot rights and AI rights and all that stuff. I'm sure it's gonna come. So I want everybody to remember this moment when I said this on March 6th.
Right. Right.
March 6th, 2024. There's
Robot
gonna be
lives matter.
battles and protests for robot rights.
Yeah.
I already see it coming.
Right. Robot lives matter, and that's the black robots. They don't matter. It's
Another fun fact that I wanted to mention too, just for everybody that's listening. It was a woman by the name of Siri.
Hmm.
She ended up having to change her name because she was getting all these phone calls.
Ah, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's
she
really
lives
funny.
over in the UK or something like that.
in the UK.
But her name was Siri, and I was like, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I had to change my name."
They wasn't threatening
No,
them.
but I'm just saying she was just constantly getting all these
Right.
calls,
Right.
and she
Yeah.
ended up changing her name to Sis instead of Siri. That was worse. I know. I would have kept the Siri.
He made me forget what I was
Uh,
about to ask him.
you did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So no, that's all right. I was looking at something, and it flew out my head because she was telling her. But listen, your company, you're doing the work you're doing. What is there a next big thing coming down the pipe for you, or next thing, or you on an even keel with what you're doing?
The next big thing is, are you saying like as far as projects coming up or just
Right.
goals and aspirations?
Both.
Both? Okay, both. Well, I mean, end goal, I would love my business Think Technologies to be like up there with OpenAI,
Hmm.
Google,
Mm,
Amazon, Microsoft. I just, I
yeah.
be there. I want to be there. That's like the dream end
Sure.
goal. Or I mean, obviously one of those businesses could buy me out too. That's it. I'll take that too. And on to the next thing. But
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, these Apples, Amazons, Facebooks, they ain't no joke. Google, they ain't no
Yeah,
joke.
Just be careful, because if I would have been the one that started Facebook, I never would have made all the money he made, because they'd offered me 50 million, I'd have sold. Bye, I'm done.
Yeah.
But okay, so what we didn't ask you about though is are you a one-man show? Or you
So I have team members who collaborate with me on projects.
Mhm.
I'm employed. It's just me, like full time employed.
Yeah.
It's just me. But and I mean, I guess technically I'm not even full time myself. But I have like a group of different consultants that I loop in on different projects depending on the scope. And I'm basically just waiting to get more funding before I get like a full team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just to make sure we're not like losing money or revenue, make sure our
Right.
numbers look good with investors.
Yeah.
But as far as big projects coming up, we have we're launching a chatbot. It's like a AI assistant that is going to be used for the Black Tech Saturdays website.
Mhm.
And so right now it could be used for a lot of different use cases as well too. But right now we have these big events like at Black Tech Saturdays, thousands of people come, meet each other, you do this, you do that, blah blah blah, nice to meet you, we'll connect. You leave, you're like, oh wait, what did that person do? Or who could help me with this?
Right. Right.
Can't remember. So what we did is we actually combined all of like the members' data into a
Yeah.
database, trained a chatbot on that database.
Okay.
So now if you want a mentor in software engineering, you can just go to the Black Tech Saturdays website, go to the chatbot. It's called Tech Connect Bot temporarily. I don't know if we're gonna stick with that name.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, I need a mentor for software engineering. And then it'll spit out all the people who are willing to mentor you and their contact information.
Cool.
And so you can do this for a lot of like if you need a photographer, or if you need someone to help in marketing, or if you need someone to build you an app,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it'll be a place, a one-stop shop where you can come to find those people, and you can find people in the community that you know and you can see regularly instead of like using like Fiverr or Upworks or TopTel where you have to get somebody who lives overseas or another country
Right.
and you're trusting them with your entire project. So it's just easier with like local and helping out local business and locally sourced.
Right. Right. I gotta ask this question. Is that a voice activated bot, or is it
It
strict?
is not voice activated yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Okay.
It could be though. It could
Right.
be. And we'll see. We'll do some testing and see if it's a good user experience.
Right. So
Mhm.
in your experience, have you seen, I mean, I've seen some of where there's a market improvement in voice activated AI.
A
Like
market.
well, like your series and your so forth, and the apps that you use to do dictation on computers, where some of them, a lot of times, they don't understand, even your phone sometimes they don't understand what you're saying. I don't care how clearly you say it.
Yeah. So there definitely is room for improvement on that. And sadly, the way that that could most like vastly improve is we're gonna have to talk to it more. Because like how like AI works, artificial intelligence is it's only as good as the data it's been trained on.
Hmm.
So the more data you have on a specific issue that you want to apply AI to, the better that model will perform.
Okay.
And so one thing to really think about is like AI has been around for a long time.
Mhm.
It just wasn't that good in the early like 70s and 80s and stuff because we
Right.
didn't have that much data. Now we have advanced cloud computing. We can store a lot more data. We can capture a lot more data because everything you're on is capturing your data.
Hmm.
So now
Mhm.
we have endless amounts of data to train the chatbot on, and that's why it's becoming significantly more effective and more helpful and just seeming to be more intelligent per se.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's good. So we because sometimes I don't mess. I reason why I don't mess with it is because it's, and then of course it don't speak urban.
Well, when I
That's
when I
funny. That's
receive
funny.
phone calls and stuff and they leave a message, I like that the message coming out because and then I go in and I read it. So I was like, oh, okay then. And I like that new feature from
Oh
AT&T.
yeah, 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 the recorded voicemail, recorded
Yeah,
video.
when they call and leave you a message, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay then, because I had long message, what's the name from the doctor, from the dentist, or
yeah.
whatever. You know, and I say, oh, okay then. So I'll get back with them, you know, quicker. But yeah, I understand they message. I like that part right there too.
Okay, so here's one for you, because I
Yeah.
had to look back. How did the pandemic affect your progress?
Ah, the pandemic. Honestly, the pandemic was really bad, but it also was really good too for me
Mm,
personally. One one thing I would say, just the first and most important thing, we weren't going out all the time. Going
right,
out to eat,
Mm.
going out to meet people, going this, that, and that. And like that, one gave me more time to focus. Two was eating way more, like way healthier. Like wasn't eating all the greasy food, wasn't going out to eat all the time. And then
Mm-hmm.
also you had so much time to focus on yourself and focus on what you want to do.
right,
So I was able to really just grind and not worry about like missing out on anything or like having like FOMO. So you really could just get your gears going and really think and learn more about stuff. So I
right,
think that was like the good part about it. It really just gave me time to learn and like
right,
just focus on myself, like that personal growth. And I feel like, yeah, it was annoying sometimes, like not being able to do as much, and obviously it was terrible, everybody getting sick.
right.
But it also
Mm-hmm.
just like gave everybody some time to focus on themselves and think of ways they could innovate
Yeah,
and just better themselves.
right, right, right.
Like him with the podcast started.
Yeah, right. And saving money. Like I
Oh,
saved
that'll
something,
mention that
didn't
part.
do nothing. Yeah, you
Right,
couldn't
couldn't do nothing.
save money.
And if you wanted to go to the store, they wouldn't let you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, real quick. Tanisha and Topeka both said, "Hey."
Oh, tell him I said hey. Favorite cuz.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what she said. My fave.
Mhm.
So when you when I'm trying to, so you, because I without looking at this, because I'm trying to look at my notes over here, which is
Yeah. No, you gotta go off the top of the head. Give me give me something
You're right, 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 right.
right. Yeah, that's what I try to do. That gets me in trouble sometimes. But so like you said, what you're doing now is not full time, but it is, because
Yeah,
it's your baby. But the other organizations, corporate companies, what did you work with?
that's
What's
box.
right? What is new for them? What's coming up for them that you can talk about?
We have, so what's really cool and what I love about this relationship with the current company I work at, Glassbox, is they're supportive of my business and like what I do.
Hmm.
Like they're open to me like chasing my dreams and working on that simultaneously. I'm working with them.
Right.
It's kind of a win-win for them because I get to learn about new things in the industry that are important and like maybe provide a different way of looking at things.
Yes.
And then I can tell them like, oh, this has worked, or I've heard this or that, etc. But they also have a big focus on AI. Like starting in like 2022, Glassbox had a big focus in AI.
Right.
And I bring a lot of like different new ideas of like how we can be leveraging AI
Right.
across the business. So it's kind of like a win-win because it's just like more like I'm learning more about AI. We're going more in the direction toward being an AI company.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
it's a win-win situation. And also too, like I get all my stuff done. So as long as I'm getting all my stuff done for them,
Right. Yeah.
they don't care what I do in my free time.
Cool. So let's take a break real quick and segue over to that question we asked you before we started.
Yep.
Is there something that you encountered that your mother didn't prepare you for, or maybe didn't give you what you think you might have needed in the area?
Yeah. So ever since you guys brought this up, I just continuously thinking about it. I'm like, man, because like honestly, my mom really prepared me for a lot in the world. Like, God
Yeah.
bless. She's an
Yes.
amazing woman. Like, taught me so much about how to be successful, how to interact with people. It
Right.
was just like, I could never thank her enough for all that. Love you, ma. But one thing that she never told me is to not be afraid to fail.
Mm,
And I feel like that's like a big thing that a lot of people have, like a lot of
Yeah.
issues. It's like
Mhm.
you're so like you almost want to just do everything perfect or like make sure it's right before releasing, or you're scared to like go in front of this group of people because like what if you say something wrong or
right.
do something wrong? And it's like fear is like one of the biggest things preventing people from being the best versions of themselves.
Right.
Mhm.
So I would just say like not being afraid to fail, because like that once I stopped being afraid to fail, it just like the possibilities are endless of where you could go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So somewhere along the way, although she didn't give you a crash course in it, let's say, you picked
Yeah.
up the idea that you need to get that fear out your head.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And did you go back and say, "Ma"?
No, no. But what's really funny is she's actually in town, so I'm going out to dinner with her after this. So I'll
Oh,
make sure
okay.
to bring this up to
Right,
Is your
right.
mom still in business now? Does she have her own business or
Oh
her.
God.
She does a little bit of, she does projects here and there, but she's living the glorious,
the
relaxed life
glorious life now?
she deserves to live.
She's
Yeah,
being
but no, she's
inspirational.
Mm.
yeah, right, yeah, but she still does some projects here and there.
Okay.
Because I know, yeah, she was doing a lot of stuff back in the day when you
Yeah,
were little.
yep. That's where I learned her from. That's where I learned her from.
Yeah, that's all
Her
I'm
and my
saying.
dad,
Yeah,
two great entrepreneurs, and
she
just
sure was. She sure was. I
Right.
tell you. Mm-hmm.
So if you had, yeah, that's true. If you had a message about artificial intelligence that you want to present other than what you've already talked about, or expand on what you've already talked about, what would it be?
a message. I would
For
just say,
yeah, for,
hmm,
for the public at large.
the public at large.
Yeah.
Hmm, that's tough. That's tough. All right, you threw me a curveball, but I'm just gonna go with it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it. And if you think it's like a potential threat, then maybe you should learn more about it. Like, because then you learn more. Like, I personally, if it's gonna be the biggest threat to me, then I would like to learn a lot more about the biggest threat to me in the future,
Mm-hmm.
so you can know how to handle it or know how to grow with it per se. So just don't be afraid. Be open to new ideas, and yeah, don't get left behind.
Right. That's a big deal.
Say, don't be let me.
Don't get left behind.
I know that's why they always. My daughter and them always, like our young people like you say, look, Ma, you need to change your phone. Ma, you need to do. You need to upgrade your phone and da da da. I was like, shoot, when I upgrade this all, yeah, but I'm just saying because like you said, well, you got to get those enhancements
Yeah.
because I'm on my doggone iPad and I can't even upgrade it any longer. So now I gotta get it done.
Hey, but if it's doing everything that you need to use it for,
Right. That's
then,
what I said.
then you're good.
Yeah, because like I said, well, I don't have to have Facebook on here. I don't have to have, because I use it now to just do recordings, my Bible app, stuff like
Yeah.
that you don't have to do all that extra for.
And
You
like one thing to think about too is just like you have to think about technology as a tool. So like you're not gonna get a new hammer every single year.
right.
So you don't need to get the new technology all the time, not unless
Right.
it's really gonna add
Mhm.
more value to your life. And like also one more thing, just a message to the people. Don't let technology consume you. Like be
Right.
a human being, go outside, talk to people in real life.
Mhm.
Don't doom scroll forever. I know
Right.
we all can easily fall victim to this like content consumption, but just be a
Mhm.
human.
Right.
Oh yeah, especially when we trying to keep up with them celebrities and they you get all addicted to it. Yeah, I had to stop that because I was like, oh my God, he doing this, he doing that. Oh, I thought he was this type of person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we get up and get caught up because we love a little gossip every now and again.
Well, I think the biggest problem I think we make, especially we talk about cell phones and iPads, is that when we buy them, we tend to buy the cheapest one or the least expensive one we can get, not realizing what we're actually going to use it for.
Yeah.
Because at the point that our main focus is recording stuff and storing stuff on it, then we need to get a big enough storage
Yep.
capacity so we don't have to upgrade. Of course, I know that Apple has a plan for that too.
Yeah, right. Well, there is a lot of like cloud storage, so you can get like Google
Right.
Photos. I'm sure Apple has one too. I'm an Android user, so I
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
got one, but once you buy it, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you want to lose everything, but I mean, at least it's an effective way to hoard items. So
Right. Right. But yeah, their plan is after so many updates, they won't let it update anymore.
yeah, force you to get a new one.
Force you to get
Mhm.
it because it won't have all the latest security features on it.
Yeah, right. They always got some reason why you need to get a new one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's like you. So that I need to become an Android person.
And they're right. They're doing the same thing. They
Yeah.
just
I
do
mean,
it
I know. I'm
more
just saying.
more
They are.
subtle. They're more
They are.
subtle about it.
Yeah, they are doing the same
Mm.
thing. You know, you were talking earlier about before we went live about a project that you worked on. I guess was it probably this past weekend or weekend before that?
That was the church thing. I already
Was that the
talked about.
church thing?
Yep.
Okay, because I know there were before we went live, there were a couple things that you were
Oh, so I did do a artificial intelligence workshop, so that
Mhm.
was a little bit different than like the intro to AI.
Yeah.
But I basically just talked about some ways that you could leverage ChatGPT and use it to like help with like work related tasks, or as far as like, oh, I want this email to sound a little bit better.
Hmm.
Just paste what your thoughts are in ChatGPT and then just
Right.
have it like reword it for you. Or just different things of that nature, just helping out with like small like admin type tasks of how you could
Hmm.
leverage AI to do that.
So if somebody was trying to get some working background to ease their fears and be more efficient at using the technologies out there today, what would be the starting point you'd recommend?
To if they wanted like an intro just to technology in general.
Yeah.
So first I would say if I knew them, I would say well just reach out to me. But but honestly the if you're just wanting to know like maybe the latest technology or depending on the area, it's like there's so many different areas of technology, so it's
Right.
hard
Mm-hmm.
which way to go. But honestly, just Google what you're looking for and say XYZ online program, like
Hmm.
social media marketing online program or artificial intelligence online program where you could like learn how to do the stuff at your own pace.
Yeah.
And that's if you're like trying to get serious about it. If you want just something like really minimum on how to do like a do it yourself at home project,
Hmm.
then I would just go to YouTube. Like YouTube is the best way to say like, oh,
Oh yeah.
uh, explain phone apps to me in 2 minutes, and
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a video out there that'll explain it to you, and you can get more granular as you want, or keep it high level. But I
Okay.
feel like
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is good just because there's a lot of people out there putting out good content, focused on different areas.
Hmm.
So I definitely would say YouTube is great if you're getting like introduced to a newer topic or you want to learn something about a newer topic.
Right.
But if you want to get more serious about it, maybe like making money from it or starting a business with it, then like that's when you have to look at the certification route just to make sure you're learning from a credible source opposed
Mm-hmm.
to online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you. I love YouTube University.
Yeah. We learned so much.
Right.
You too.
And I mean, what is a good place that you know of for someone get us to go get for certification?
Udemy has a ton. Uh, Cornerstone University has a few too.
And
Something
there's
like the strategic AI program. If anybody's interested, I can drop a link to that too after that.
they offer that
Uh,
online, don't they?
Yeah, online. Yep. And like I feel like there's a lot of online programs now. Like everybody's used to doing things online. I feel like that's one of the big pushes from the pandemic is
Yes.
you can do everything online now.
Mm-hmm.
And just making sure you stick to it too, because a lot of people, the numbers show like a lot of people who start online programs don't finish. So
Hmm.
making sure you're dedicated and wanting to reach that end goal.
Well, I mean, I guess the numbers show that when they go in classroom learning, they don't finish majority of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I forgot I did not answer your question. Like Udemy
Mhm.
is a big one for online certifications. LinkedIn Learning
Okay.
is a good one for online certifications. And like Google, Amazon, Harvard University, like a lot of those companies, those big organizations
Hmm.
have free programs for you too.
You said free?
Free. Yeah.
See, free always sound good.
Yeah, free. Yeah, there's a lot of free programs out there too.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What you got right there?
No, I was just I got about I was talking about the will AI be banned in the future? Well, you know what, because of the things that was going on when President Biden had that executive order for the federal agencies to develop new rules and new, what is it?
Oh, the new
Guidelines
policies
for
for
the
artificial intelligence.
safety, because of, the hacking
Yeah,
and everybody, collecting everybody's information.
I couldn't see it being banned just
Yeah, me
because how
neither.
many big organizations rely on it. Like it would
Mm-hmm.
just be it like I don't want to get too deep into politics on here. I
Right.
don't
I understand completely.
but if the big organizations are using it, I don't see the government stopping anybody else from using it
Right.
either. But there may be more like policing as far as what you can use it for.
Policing, yeah,
Who has
that's what I'm saying.
access
They
to it.
wanted
Yeah.
new rules and
Because
guidelines.
right now it's kind of like the wild, wild west out there with
Right.
Yeah.
a lot of different things. So that's just touching on the big important part of like the ethics and
Yeah.
the advisory and safety of it too. Just like keeping
Yeah,
it.
that safety and
Yeah.
yeah. Security.
I think a lot of that fear comes from, well, it's just, I know what a lot of what places come from, but you know how places like Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, and the whole bunch, how right now, the big deal with them in Congress doing battle about saying they're not doing enough to make it a safe space for people to go into.
Yeah.
And you have people who have worked with AI, developing AI, saying that this is what's going to happen. This is what we have. You don't know about it. They're making comments like that. So I know one of the things that the president was talking about was what you just said, putting some limitations on it.
Yeah, like safety blocks and limitations.
Right.
And I feel like that's one thing too that we probably we could never focus enough on. Like we probably should have more people focus on that area as far as like policing it and protecting it and keeping it safe.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we want to be ready if things ever got out of hand with it. And like
Right.
but a lot of people right now, like we're like afraid of like the AI getting us, but like
Right. Yep.
we're further away from the AI getting us versus someone in another country trying to attack us using AI.
Right.
That's a threat than like the AI itself taking us. So like
Yes.
it still comes into like the human is the biggest threat with AI.
Yes.
And that's one thing that's like scary about AI. Like they have like some safeguards and some tools, but like if you ask it like for per se like, oh, how to make a bomb or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
then like that's
That's a
dangerous
red
because
flag.
now because now someone who is dangerous has access or knowledge or instructions on how to make them even a bigger threat with little to no effort. So that is
Right.
one dangerous thing about AI, but a lot of the tools have safeguards on them, but it's even becoming easier now to deploy your own models without the safeguards and running them on your own system.
Okay.
So it's just we got to be ahead of the danger of the threat per se. But I would say the most immediate threat right now with AI, since we're talking about it, is like the fake information. It's like misinformation.
Okay.
So like now the AI, you can make like videos like so it's becoming easier and easier to make AI videos that you can make someone say whatever you want them to
Right.
say.
Right.
And it's becoming harder and harder to tell if it's fake or not. And actually, one of my mentors, Tim Bates, he's working on something to counteract that too. So like there are people like working in that space to like identify if something's generated by AI or not. And I feel like that's going to be like one of the biggest fields coming up, even like the next couple months.
Yeah.
Is having like the ability to tell if something is AI generated or not.
Right. Right. Yeah, because I have seen some when some celebrities where they made commercials with them endorsing products that they never endorsed, and so
And then all these different filters that these people can cover up and put into place and
Yeah, well, now we're talking about intellectual property and like
Mm.
likeness and stuff. So like people, what happened is like a lot of people, especially in like Hollywood, this actually came up at a conference I was at. I was like, I don't know if you guys have watched the Netflix show Black Mirror, but
yes.
we do it.
okay. So they had the episode where they were like making all the AI generated Netflix episodes with the actors without their like
Right.
without them acting it out, without them getting paid for it and whatever. But like basically what happened is like a lot of people, from my understanding, a lot of people had signed contracts like saying they could do stuff like this before that technology was even out, to realizing that they're signing away to do something or allowing something that wasn't even didn't exist yet.
At the
Right.
So
time,
the fact that they signed those contracts previously and now this technology's out, they can just create movies and stuff using their likeness without
Wow.
like paying them anything from it. So I don't know that there might have been some new policies or some new changes that came out recently to address that issue, but I know like a lot of the actors were going on strike and things of that nature.
Yeah, they right. They wanted they at least wanted residuals from it.
Yeah,
But you
exactly.
know what? That's interesting because actually that's the first time I heard it put that way. But without a doubt, when you sign up to act in a project, you
Yep,
are signing your image away to that
yep,
company. And so without knowing, because like you said, when the most of them did it, the technology didn't exist, at least not that we knew about it.
yeah, exactly.
And so now you already given them permission to do something. So now here 10, 15 years later, when they actually do it,
Yep,
you gave them permission.
yep, exactly.
And so that's another thing to point to the idea that we have to be real vigilant in before we sign our name on something, know exactly what it means, what we're signing.
Yep,
Yeah, because all of them, let's see, these, please read these terms and da 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 da. And then you got,
Well, ain't nobody gonna read them.
exactly.
Yeah, because it's just like on Facebook. When you sign up for a Facebook account, you are actually giving away a lot of your privacy.
Yep.
Is in there. We're not reading 30 pages in. We just want to go out there and put some pictures out on the internet and talk to our friends. We ain't thinking about
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I know, because I was scared when AT&T had that outage a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that was
I
big.
was like, oh my God, it had the SOS up in the spot up there. And I was like, oh my God. All right, look, I unplugged my phone anyway because I said we can't do nothing. So
But I think part of that goes back to what you were saying, that our the biggest fear, the biggest threat is not the AI, but the way people use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. And so but I guess it always comes back to us.
Yeah, the human, yeah.
Yeah, the human element. It always comes
Yeah.
back to
And honestly, even more, it comes back to things my mother never told me.
that. I like that. That's how you bring that all the way back around. That's right. That's right. Mama ain't tell me about that. So
oh.
again, we looking to see some big stuff, and I love to hear one day that somebody bought you out. Because that's
Hey,
when
you guys won't be able to find me. I'm gonna be
right.
gone. I'll be okay, but you won't be able to
That's right. That's right. That's why you pick the phone. Ma, we made it.
Yeah. Well, what you like to do in your spare time? I mean, what do you do? For
So
fun and
I have like four main activities. I play a lot of tennis. I play basketball.
Okay.
I like going out with my friends.
mm-hmm.
And I like doing different art projects.
Okay. I love
Yeah,
art too.
yeah.
Love art.
I've gotten more into it as I've gotten older. I used to
Mhm.
take like art classes in high school and stuff, but I
Right.
didn't realize that I actually liked it. I thought I was just trying to get the easy A. But yeah, no, I'm into art. I actually had a exhibition at New Lab for an art showcase. It
Mhm.
was in December, and I did a project that you leverage artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So it was like AI models to create uh four different canvases, and
Hmm.
canvases, each image depicted a different human emotion.
Okay.
So I did happy, sad, pleasure, and fear.
Mhm.
And then I also, from those images that were generated, I created a video to like to almost tell a story with
Wow.
the images. Yeah, all using AI. So it
Mm.
was almost like a way I wanted to show like how you can combine AI and art to make beautiful things and like express
That is
creativity.
Right.
beautiful.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and I
so
really want. Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go
but
ahead.
I was good. All I was going to ask you was so that was just your project for a project you were doing for.
Yeah, so one of it spawned from one of my customers had asked me if there's anything I could do like with art and AI, and I was like, yeah.
Interesting.
And so I made something for that client, and then I was like, oh, I could actually use this to like express my artistic
Mhm.
ideas, because like a lot of people have like good art ideas or like want to
Right.
create things and like express themselves, but they may not know how to draw or paint or use
Right.
Adobe different
Illustrator, one of
tools,
those
the
things.
illustrators, yeah. So this is just like another way for people to express themselves in an artistic manner.
Because that was my question was going to be, in order for you to use artificial intelligence to draw, do you have to be able to draw?
No, you don't. You just have to, but like the more you know
Mhm.
about what you're trying to do, the better you could use AI to help you do it.
Mhm.
So you have to prompt it to create these things.
Right.
If you know a lot of jargon about art and like maybe like different themes or how, like different styles, like Renaissance style versus like other styles, like if you could really articulate that,
Right.
then it's gonna depict something that is more like what you originally wanted to create.
Uh-huh.
So like that's just like across like all industries where you're leveraging AI. Like you still need to know what you're talking about and working on because A, you got to know if it's correct,
Mhm.
and then B, the more you articulate and the more specific you are to the AI, the better the output will be.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this it goes back to what you said earlier that AI is just a more advanced version of a computer. In other words, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then so I don't want to say garbage in, garbage out. Because like you could say like say you have a bunch of notes from a meeting
Mhm.
and you just put in those garbage notes in the AI. AI will package it up and make it real pretty garbage and easy to understand. So it'll organize your garbage for you. It'll
Right.
organize
Right. Right.
your
Right.
garbage for you and put it in a nice presentable way on the curb.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that is one thing, but like the better the data that the AI gets, the better
Yeah.
the output will be.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
It's a
AI does
reflection
have
of the data.
right. So it does have the capacity to make garbage pretty.
Yes, yes. You get
That's
better structure your garbage.
yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Mhm.
So this is
That might be a good business model, you know?
Yeah, because you was talking about
AI
art, and I was
garbage.
thinking about Etch a Sketch.
well, that's interesting. And you don't have that any of that artwork handy, do you?
I do not. I have it at my office.
Oh,
I have
okay.
an office that do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Because when you were saying that, I was looking at that piece back there on your wall.
Yeah, so I made that. That wasn't with AI though. But
Mhm.
so what it is I'm a big Twitter fan. Well, now it's
Mhm.
called X.
X. Yeah.
And so what I did is I took screenshots of all my favorite tweets over the course of a year.
Uh-huh.
And this was actually a pandemic project.
Okay.
But but what I did is I grouped them all together in the shape of the Twitter
With the
logo.
Twitter logo, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had it put on a canvas.
Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
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 So it's some funny stuff up there. Some funny stuff.
Well, spending time by yourself will do things to you, won't it?
Yeah, right.
Well, you know what? You got
Yeah.
anything else you want for it? Yeah.
No, that was it because it was amazing. Now I understand, a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Know what it is now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even associate this new technology with AI. Being able to key into my doctor and me and him can just talk about an issue and then like you said, chatting with my informational thing, calling out Siri. I didn't know none of this was, really all AI. I just
Look, I wasn't looking. I don't know when Topeka said that. She said she get a lot of fraud calls from AI at work. I think we all get a lot of fraud calls.
Right?
from the UPS got a package, all that kind of stuff. You be like,
Real quick, did you get basketball and tennis from your father?
Basketball for my father, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't he used to play a
tennis.
little tennis?
He used to play tennis. I did not know he used to
I'm
play
I'm,
tennis.
I'm trying to think. Did he? I thought he did. Maybe he didn't.
He played everything. He was a softball,
Right.
volleyball, football, basketball, boxing,
Yeah.
all the different stuff.
Right. Because we all did all of that stuff, but some folks kept doing it, others quit. Like I quit. All right.
oh, De'Lon, it's been pretty. You are a pretty amazing guy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are pretty
I'm
amazing people as
loving
well,
it.
too.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. We wish nothing but the best for you.
Yeah, right. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the family reunion. So
Oh yeah, we'll
Oh
be there.
yeah,
We'll
we
be
definitely
there
be
for
there.
sure. I already
The
booked.
Lord's
Already
will.
already booked my room.
Yes,
Good,
Lord will.
good.
We'll be there.
Yeah, so we'll be there, and we can talk some more about this stuff.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
Not too much though, because we're gonna be on vacation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't want you to be going in your room and start doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But but you know what? Think about it. That's a project, an art project you can do.
Let's hear it.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. Something you can do for the family reunion.
Okay.
An art
Okay.
project. You figure it out.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Yeah. Just don't let AI tell you what to do, because that ain't much information.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. This was an amazing experience. This is my first podcast too, so
Okay,
hopefully
cool.
this will be the start of many more.
Hopefully so.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully so.
Many
Yeah.
likes and keep it moving.
All right, take care, you guys.
All right, take
All
care
right.
now.
Can't wait for you to blow up even more.
Yeah, right. See you guys.
Thank you so much.
Right.
We appreciate you.